Hi guys, this is Yasser Naja from I-SQL. Welcome to this tutorial. If you feel this video did help you gain some new skills, please hit the like and subscribe to this channel and click on the notification button to be notified whenever I post a new video. Hi guys, and welcome to my first tutorial. Today we will be covering a few commands or coding commands for SQL, and let's go. The first thing we will be doing here is we will start a program called SQL Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. It's actually Microsoft product client that will allow us to get connected to my SQL server. I have my instance here called SQL Learning, and this is just my NT login. So the moment I will hit connect, we will see on the left side under the Object Explorer screen all the server informations and what kind of databases I'll be connecting to. So let's do that. Alright, so now I'm connected to my server and I can start writing codes, running queries, do whatever I want to do actually with the server. Okay, so this is what actually we did cover in the previous prereq video, where I did actually show all the databases, the tables within those databases, the schemas, if you remember from the previous video. If this is the first time that you guys joined this channel, I will leave actually a link for the prereq video in the description of this video. And from here we go from the tables, we can see what columns this table has. Okay, so the first thing to prepare our code editor, we will need to do what we need to do is to click on this new query tool over here. Alrighty, now we are ready to start coding or building queries. Right now we will be actually building queries and go over some commands that actually will help you learn SQL. We will start using the first command actually that we will be going over. It's called select, and the select statement actually is used to select data from a database. And let's see how we can apply it. First thing you will do is you will write the command select, then you put a star, go back to the line, and you need to specify your source table, which table we will be using to query our data from. So in this case I will be using this table, the employee table. And in order to specify that table here, I need to write the whole path where that table is located at. So in this case, I need to specify the database in which this table is actually located at. That database is actually AdventureWorks 2009, so I have to specify that. Okay, then you put actually a dot to separate the database name from the schema, which is human resources. Okay, then you have to put another dot to separate the schema from the table name. So as you can see here, my IntelliSense automatically, once I specify the path and the schema, automatically will tell me all the tables that exist within this schema. So I can either start writing the table name, or if I see it as part of the list, I can just double click it. Now I have my query ready for execution, and in order to execute this query, there are two options. Either you click on this button here that says execute, or you click on the F5 on your keyboard. So once we do that, we will see the results at the bottom here in this area, and right here. Okay, so let's do that. Alrighty, so now we can see all the results based on the query that we wrote here on the top, and these results are actually saved in some kind of memory table or temporary table, which is called result set. So the moment I close this screen here, all this data actually, or these results will be actually lost until I run the query again. Then you will see those rows here in the result set again. So pretty much this area here, it's called result set, and what it has actually is all the rows that are returned based on the query that you wrote in the top over here. Okay, so this is actually the first way how to write a select statement, and this star over here that I placed, it actually represents every single column from the employee table. So as you can see, it has like several columns. We can keep scrolling until the end. So this is the last column within the table. Now if I want to verify if these columns really exist in this employee table, what I can do is I go to under the Object Explorer here and expand the employee table, then go under columns and expand it as well. And the moment you do that, you will see these columns in the same order as your result sets here. So we have business entity ID, we have national ID number, which is here, a login ID, and so on. So now with this select statement, let's say I don't want to see all these columns. Like for example, this column doesn't make any sense to me because it's just some kind of code or hashed information that I don't want, that I'm not gonna know what it is. So let's say I just wanna return just these three columns. If you wanna do that, you can, and the way to do it is you have to literally write the name of each column and separate it with comma, then type in the second column you want to see and put a comma again, and put your last column that you want to see. Now if I execute this query here, I will not get back all these results or all these columns. I will only get those three columns here because that's what I specified within my query. So let's try that. Okay, as you can see, I'm not getting all the columns that I get within the previous query. Okay, so this is another way how to write your SQL statement. Now let's go over the select top. The select top is used actually to specify the number of record to return within your query. And the way to do that is you write your query as you normally do it, select, and you have to add top, and specify how many rows you want to return. In this case, we will be using 5, and we will use star to return all the columns from our source table, which is our employees table. Let's run this query and see what the result will look like. As you can see in the bottom screen here, that the total of rows that were returned is 5, which correspond to the number that we used here in our select top statement. Now let's change this to number 2, for example, and run our query. When you do that, you always going to receive the total results or row results as that number that you keep playing with here. Let's do, for example, 7, and we get 7 rows. So now let's say I don't want to return all these columns. I only want to return the first 3 columns with the number, of course, of rows that I want. In order to do that, you will need actually to remove that star and switch it with the name of columns that you need to return. And let's run our query. As you can see, I still have top 7 rows with only those columns that I specified within my select statement. Now let's change this to 6, just so you can see that the values will keep changing for the total of rows. Let's do 3, and this is how you use your select top. Now let's go over the select distinct statement, which is used to return only distinct different values, meaning if there is a table that has the same exact value across multiple rows and you use your select distinct, you will actually dedupe those values to where you will only show one line or row for that value. Now let's run this query just so I can show you an example. As you can see here, by running this query, I'm getting 290 rows in return, and I have some duplicate rows, like marketing specialist is duplicated across multiple rows. We have this production supervisor WC60, actually, yep, it's in here too. The technician as well, it's across multiple rows. If you want to only show one row for each value within your table, you will need to use the select distinct function or command. Let's try that. This is how you write it: select distinct your column name, and you use your from your source table, and you just hit execute or F5 on your keyboard. Now, as you can see, we just executed this query, and the total of columns is no longer 290 with all those duplicate values. However, it's only 67 rows, because these are distinct, unique values. You will not see anything duplicating here. I'm going to scroll down so you can see for yourself that nothing or no value here is duplicated more than once. Going all the way to row number 67. And this is how you use select distinct to duplicate values within a table. Okay, now let's go over the order by. The order by keyword is used to sort the result set in an ascending or descending order. And the way we do that is We write our query the way we've been writing it, which is select star from our source table, and at the end you will need to write the order by. And when you do that, you need to specify which column do you want to order by or sort by. So in this case, let's go by the birth date. So let's order by birth date. As you can see right now, we have like everything that we see here. It's not in order or ascending or descending. It's all like mixed values. Let's order by this table. So automatically, this column, automatically SQL Server, whenever you specify a column in the order by, it will actually default it to an ascending value. So let's try that. As you can see now, the data is sorted by the date or the birth date from the very old date to the most recent date within the table, 1991, and the very old one is in 1951. So when you write it in this way, you can write it in a different way to where it will return the order of these actually rows in a descending order, meaning it will start from the very new value to the oldest value. And the way to do that, you will need to add DESC, which is a short word for descending or descendant. Descending actually order, sorry. So as you can see now, we have the rows sorted in a way that the very or most recent date is showing on the top, and the very old or first value is showing all the way at the bottom. So this is how you actually sort your data when you return it using any of the SQL queries. There is another way how to do it also. Let's say you want to sort by multiple columns. Let's say we will do it by the gender first, then we will sort by the the date of birth column in a descending order, meaning the highest values will be showing on the top and the lowest values will be showing at the bottom. Let's try that. Okay, so as you can see, the first field that we did actually order by was gender in here, and as you can see, all the values here will be F for female until we reach M for male. Then the second column that we are sorting by is the date of birth, which will be this one. So out of all these females, we will do the sorting of the date of birth in a descending order. As you can see, it will go from the most recent date or the newer date going down to the oldest date. So it keeps going down. 1981, 1980, 79, 78, 76, 574, and so on. Now let's go over the where clause, which is used to filter actually records within your results, and it's used to only extract those records that fulfill or meet a specified condition that the user actually add to the query. So let's see how to use the where clause within our query. So we are going to use the same query that we've been using, select star from our employee table, and now let's add the where clause. So let's try first to find only marketing assistant employees within this table. So in order to do that, we have to add our where clause, then add the column actually name under which we will be conducting our search and implementing this condition. Okay, so now let's run this query, and as you can see, the results only show employees that under the marketing assistant job title. Okay, so now let's try to search by a different column. Let's do, for example, let's search for all the male employees within the company. And in order to do that, we have to use the gender column here. And you can say where the gender actually equal to M for male. As you can see here, all the results are showing for male employees only. Now let's switch that to look for female employees only. Let's run our query, and as you can see, everything that was returned within the results is tied to female employees only. And you can use actually multiple conditions within one query. For example, we want to search for all male employees that were hired on or after January the 1st of 2011. In order to do that, we have to add an additional condition to this where clause, and we have to use the keyword and in order to do that. And hire date is greater than or equal. We have to write it in the same order that we have here. The year, 4 digits, the month, 2 digits, and the day, 2 digits. So 2011, January the 1st. Now if I execute this query here, all the results should be actually for all male employees that were hired on or after January 1st of 2011. Let's run it and see if that's true. As you can see, everything that was returned is for male employees, and everyone here was hired on or after January 1st of 2011. So this is how you use your where clause, and you can add as many conditions as you want. That shouldn't be a problem at all. Now let's go over the and or not. So the where clause can be actually combined with and, or, and not operators. The and or operators are used actually to filter records based on more than one condition. So let's see how we can use that or implement it within one of our queries here. All right, so let's say we will be looking for all employees under the marketing specialist title. So we need to add our where, and our column name should be job title equal to, and let's say marketing specialist. And because it's a string again, we have to put it between single quotes because it's not a whole number or integer. Okay, so now let's run this query for now. As you can see, we have 5 employees under that title of marketing specialist. Now, out of these 5, we only need to return the employees that are single, that are not married. So this is where the operator AND will come in handy, where it will actually help us add another condition. So you will say AND marital status equal to S for single. Now if we run this, we will not get the 5 rows. We should get probably 2 because I only see 2 that are single. Let's try that. Okay, I was right in this case. So now let's switch this from single to married. M for married. Let's see how many married we have. There are marketing specialists. Looks like we have 3 people that are married. Okay, now this is how you use the AND operator. Let's see now how we can use the OR operator. Let's use our generic query here. Alrighty, so let's say we need to look for employees under the, how you call it, let me see, it was production technician, WC60, that's what it was. Let's say we will be looking for any employee under the job title production technician. So we will do it select star from our source table, which is the employee table, where the job title is equal to production technician W60 C60. Let's run this query. Okay, and as you can see, we have 26 employees under that job title. Alrighty, now let's say we want to return employees within this job title or any employee whose hire date was on or after January 1st of 2011. In that case, we will need to use the OR operator. And the way we do that is we have to write our query as select star from the employee table where the job title equal to production technician WC60 or the hire date is greater than or equal, again, the year 2011, the month January, and the day the 1st. So let's write this query. Remember, we had 26 rows in return for the production technician. Now we added an additional condition here for the hire date as an OR, meaning when I execute this query, the result should return for any employee under this title of production technician WC60, or if that employee was hired on or after January 1st 2011. Let's run that query and we will see the results. Alright, so as you can see now I have 49 rows, which means I have all the employees under the first condition and anyone who's not under that first condition, which is the production technician WC, these will be actually under the second condition here, because we use the or operator. And you can see they are all hired on or after January 1st of 2011. And this is how you use the or operator within your query. Now let's see how we use the not. Okay, let's run this query again so we can see all the data from that table of employees. Now we need to return data related to all employees who are not male. So the way to do that is you need to write your query the way we've been writing it. Select star from our source table employee where, and we will write not gender equal M for male. If we execute this query here, all the results that we will get in return will be for all females, because we literally ask SQL to bring us everything from the employee table except employees under the gender M or male. Let's try that. As you can see here, everyone that was returned is female. Now let's change this to F for female, meaning that we are asking SQL Server to return all results from the employee table where the employee is not female. As you can see here, all these employees are not female, they are all male, because we specified to not return anyone under the gender F for female. And this is how we use our operators and, or, and not. Null values. So what is a null value? It's pretty much a field with a null value is a field with no value at all. Let's see an example here. As you can see on row number 1, we have under the organization node or organization level, we don't see any values here, meaning that these actually cells are empty. There is nothing in them at all. And the way we search or query for null values is we write our SQL statement the way we been writing it again. Select star from our destination table employee, and you will say where organization node is null. Now if I execute this query here, we will see any employee or row where the organization node has a null value in it. Let's try this. Alright, so it looks like we only have one record within the whole table where that column organization node is null. Let's see now if we want to return anything from that table where the value is not null. So the way we do that is we write our where clause and we say organization node, and you type in is not null. Now by doing this, we will select our query and run it, and when we run it, we should not receive any record where this column here, organization node, is null. Let's try this. Alrighty, so I'm going to highlight the column, and I will scroll down all the way. So you can see that everything that was returned has a value in it. Alright, so this is how we use the null values criteria to query any table for null values and non-null values.